Hey, what's up, Scott Balcom here with Imagination Creation Films, and today, well, we got a new camera to check out. You know, I don't really do unboxing videos, but I do love me some cameras, and I love sharing what I find out about cameras, and I'm always on the quest to find the most camera for the dollar that makes me more efficient. So the DJI Action Osmo Action, whatever it is, just came out recently. You probably saw 5,000 of these videos show up on YouTube. They all got theirs for free about 3 weeks ago. Well, I bought mine, just like I do all my cameras. So I'm gonna put it through its paces, and I'm gonna compare it against the GoPro Hero 3, the GoPro Hero 4 Black, the GoPro Hero 5, the GoPro Hero 7. You gotta know what it can and can't do. And that's the best way I know how to do it. Plus, I have history with a lot of these, and honestly, I don't really like them. The 7 is by far the best one they've ever made, but I don't like it. This one, supposedly, based on specs alone and some of the videos that I've seen, has the ability to beat this one. But before we do all of that, I'll ask you to go ahead and click subscribe because, hey, join the community. Everyone else is. It's a great community of filmmakers and storytellers, and you know what? I think you'd be a great part of it. Let's dive into an unboxing first. So this is the first on my channel, so let's just put these to the side because at the moment, they don't really matter. And here we have this box. This is a tiny little box. It's a little cute. You know, GoPros come in these like big plastic cases, and this is kind of tiny. So let's see what we get. Really, I've never done an unboxing video, and you only get to do this once because once you unbox it, well, you can't really unbox it again. So there is lots of cellophane on here. I'm recording good. All right, so now how do we open it? Looks like, okay. It's got a front. There we go. And there it is. There is the packaging right there. And here we have the action camera. Oh, that is weird. Huh. With its stickers on it. And then we have a box inside of a box. And this box, please don't be sealed. Good, 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 good. And here we have a mount. This is a very familiar looking mount. GoPro started this, but I guess they didn't patent it, so too bad. This one has a twist on it. Yeah. Supposedly you just, yep, that's kind of cool. So that goes on and off a whole lot faster than the unscrewing it and remounting it. So you just, basically there's a little lever right here. You just push it in and twist and go. That's kind of cool. Let's see what we got here. So these little plastic things are so weird. It has such a soft plastic sound to it. It's weird. We have a flat one. We have a curved one. And then this is, I'm assuming, the battery. Well, now it's on the floor. Yep, there's the battery. And there's, I bet you nobody saw this. There's a book. There's an actual book that I can't read because I'm old. And for more information, go to DJI's website. That's cool. All right, so let's look at what we got here. This battery, wow, that is really similar. Yeah, it would be funny if they matched, but they don't. So the battery is supposedly a little bit bigger than the GoPro battery. This one is for the 4. Let's pull one out of here. Guess I should probably charge all these up too, huh? So this is a GoPro Hero 7 battery. This is a Hero 4 battery, and that's a DJI battery right there. Not really a lot of difference in them. This one is a little bit bigger, and it has the case seal on it, which honestly, one of the gripes that I have on the 7, the 5, is that in order to push this button in and pull it to the side to release the battery, you have to put your thumb right here. Well, that's a button. When you push that button, it turns into settings. So when you go to replace anything, you're either turning it on or you're pressing settings. So if you want to swap your SD card, which is right there in the battery thing, you put your thumb here, you push it. I found this was a horrible idea. So people are like, oh, you don't put your thumb there. Okay, I'll put my thumb up top and push in this way. Nope, I just pushed record. Always a gripe of mine on the GoPros. Let's see how the action is. Let's first pull off this little sticker. Isn't that so nice? Let's pull off this little sticker. And as you've probably seen on every other video, it does have 2 screens. I don't know how good that'll be. Honestly, it'll be probably good to know that you're recording. That's probably about it for me. Let's see. That seems to be a little bit easier to remove than the GoPro version. Kind of a pain in the rear to get in and out. There's no way to pop it out without getting your thumb on the glass. There's more plastic. Let's see here. So that just pops out the battery. Let's see. That's the door. There's an SD card, or micro SD card slot, and a USB-C, and nothing else. So no HDMI on this. I guess you could go to HDMI from USB-C, but we don't really know that yet. There's no microphone jack for it. You have to buy the DJI USB-C to microphone adapter, which no one seems to have those in stock right now, which is interesting. Now, this is knurled. I don't know why. I'm going to assume, since I can't remove it, that it's knurled so that ND filters will fit on it better. Now take a look at this first time lapse here. The Hero 7 never seems to grab exposure or color temperature very well. The Hero 5 is not getting exposure right. Notice how it's flickering. It's constantly adjusting based upon the sun hitting it. Now on all of these, the GoPros are set to -2 sharpness. I'm a filmmaker, I don't like it sharp. I can always add it back in. So I added it back in to compare it to the DJI because you can't disable it there. Now notice here, look at the 7. It's a little muddy. It doesn't look right. I don't know what's going on with it. It's a little strange. Sharpening just makes it a little sharper, but muddy. Now on this next one, the left 2 are 240 frames a second, the right one are 120, and the Osmo seems to have gotten the color temperature and the exposure right. The other 3 almost look exactly the same, which is really odd. And GoPro is actually not pulling out good colors. Now here the GoPro 7 is doing well in the face. It is a little warm, but it does a pretty good exposure. Now here's my torture chamber. You see all the sun glints that hit it? Nothing escapes this. Even the Osmo can't just cope with everything here. But notice the steady motion here. The Osmo is really, really smooth, like it's on a gimbal. The Hero 7 is not shabby. The others are just horrible. Now here, all you want to look at is the cool shark on the back of my dog, but also notice the color and the smoothness of the steady shot on either of these. The Hero 7 is not horrible. The Osmo Action is fantastic. The other 3, they're actually not that bad, but the Session just can't do it. So here we are in the final, and we have the 5, the 7, the 4, and the DJI Osmo Action. And honestly, I don't know what to think. It's a tough one. The HDR is the mode we're in now, which only the Osmo Action has, so it's really kind of hard to tell. The Session keeps dying. It's overheating. The sun is too hot for it. The Osmo, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? This is the Osmo Action audio. This is the GoPro Hero 4 Black audio. This is the GoPro Hero 7 Black. And this is the GoPro Hero 5 Black. I don't know. In the end, You tell me. They all do 4K, except for this guy. He keeps shutting down. He doesn't do anything. That's the session. So, honestly, I think GoPro's got a real problem. Because if this is version 1 of the DJI, and version 2 is going to be deadly. Because think about it, the Mavic 1 versus the Mavic 2. Think of the like the Phantom 4 versus the Phantom 3, which is the first one that DJI started putting cameras in. I mean, the Osmo original one versus the Osmo Pocket. When DJI gets a hold of something, the second one becomes pretty amazing. I mean, look at the Ronin 2. Every time DJI touches something, the second time, it gets amazing. So as we watch this beautiful hummingbird come up and have a little drink of sugar water at 240 frames a second, shot on the DJI Osmo Action, I want to go through a couple of the things in the Osmo itself. Number one, you can't turn off sharpening. And I'm a filmmaker. I like my things very muted, I don't like it sharp. And you can always add sharpening, but you cannot take it away. There's no organic way to take away sharpening in post. So that should be able to be fixed by firmware, but we'll just have to see. The next thing is, it is a fisheye lens. Now what happens is when you turn on Rocksteady, it crops in. Once it crops in, it actually almost takes away most of that fisheye. I would like that crop to actually be a setting that I can do, because I don't want a fisheye ever. And I don't like their correction. They do have a way to correct it. Just in the camera, you can push a button and it will make it straight. However, that does not ever look right. If you ever look at those, they're slightly warped and bent, and people's faces, if anybody stands on the edge, their noses or their faces get really long. It doesn't look right. So I don't think warp is the correct way. I would just like to just turn on the crop, would be great. Again, that should be something that can be done through firmware. Slow motion is based on a 27 or 29.97 timeline, not a 23.976. So as soon as you bring it in, you have to conform it to a 23.976 timeline if you're on a 24 FPS timeline yourself. So it's saying 8x, it's 8x30 or 29.97, not 8x 23.976. So it does do 240 frames a second. You just have to go through another step. The next thing is HDR mode is actually really good. If you look at the last section, I was really impressed. I played with it quite a bit just to see what I could do with color, but I was pretty impressed with how far you could push it. Now, it's not HDR like all the others, but it is better than your normal recording mode. Now, that being said, there's no manual settings in HDR. You can't go in and set the shutter speed. You can't do any of that. I don't care for that. Not at all. That should be something that could be done via firmware. I don't know. The other things to point out is right now there's no microphone adapter for it. None of them work, including the DJI one. It does not work with it. So I'm assuming they're going to be coming out with one, or maybe they're not going to have one at all. Who knows? Another thing is batteries. You can't get them. That's typically the way DJI does it. They release it at first and just have enough batteries to get all the initial distribution done, and then you can come back later and buy them. So I'm patiently awaiting for that. It does have pretty good battery life, and it does get a little toasty, but it works. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait for that. Also, I'd like to see, and I'm pretty sure some ND filters will be coming soon, as well as a polarizer. That'd be pretty nice. Now, I am going to be doing more testing. So this is not my complete and all test. I just wanted to get something out here so people can see it. Well, I mean, with my opinion, which is, worth what you paid, but I mean, my opinion and just the way that I shoot it from a filmmaking standpoint, as opposed to just a simple test out there. But I'm going to be doing a lot more time lapses at night. I want to experiment with the way it captures photos. Just, a lot more testing to be done. I don't like just the simple time lapses. Well, I hope that covered everything that I possibly could on this DJI Osmo Action camera. Sorry I didn't get to do everything. I tried my best, but sometimes things happen. But, I'm not unimpressed. The real test will come in over time as I really get to throw this thing through its paces, through the night lapse modes, the really just outside when it's dark, and just to get some variety in the time-lapse shots and such. So I think DJI, you're off to a good start. It's only $349, which is the same price as the 7. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for GoPro, unless they come out with something extremely cool. But I don't think they are. So, as always, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section down below. Also, I do have a Patreon if you wish to subscribe to me that way. I always appreciate my Patreon subscribers. They really do help me pay to get a camera like this because, honestly, it's coming out of my pocket. Yeah, make sure you're subscribing to this channel. And as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions.